Okay, great. A lot of times when I talk to somebody, believe it or not, is especially seasoned investors, is they'll say, I don't get out of bed for 10% or less, right? So they're chasing those double digit returns. So when I talk to those people, right, one of the examples that we'll put together is, hey, if I've got 800,000 out there and I'm earning 10% over a year, right, we're taking home $80,000,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's super happy with that. And that's kind of the rate of return. The question there, or maybe the point that I have for clients, is I ask them, how does that relate to the return on overall wealth?
Mm.
And they always go, well, what does that mean? And I said, well, we've got 20% or 200,000 in this example sitting over here. And what's it doing for us? Anthony, I don't know about your experience, but over the years, I've often seen that people are keeping that cash on hand in an account that's earning
Mm.
literally close to zero. Would you agree?
Yeah.
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 Right. So they're keeping it in accounts, typically a check in your savings, and it's earning zero because they have to keep it because it's got to be safe and liquid. And maybe the accountant comes along once a year and starts to urge them to put a little bit of money away as it starts to
Mm-hmm.
climb. But most of the time, they're sitting on that cash. And so, people, the point I'm making here is that oftentimes clients are hyper focused on the investment side and they completely neglect the cash that is sitting there safe and liquid. And they are not getting a return on the 200,000. And that's what I mean by return on wealth. So if they are earning 10% on 800,000, that's 80. But if we take that 80,000 and we look at it as entirety of the entire portfolio on a million,
Mm-hmm.
the return on wealth is actually 8%.
Mm.
You
Gotcha.
following me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So when we take that approach, we ask clients to step back, take that macro look, we can see that there's a big gap in what they're doing. And so oftentimes the solution that we'll come in and propose is, listen, this is a perfect scenario for the infinite banking concept,
Mm.
right? What's happening in this scenario happens with almost every business owner and investor is we're stacking up cash kind of in between investments or while we're waiting to save up to make that investment, and or we're sitting on cash because we might need it, right? For capital expenditures, to buy equipment, anything else that may come along. So the solution in this scenario is we've got to go out there and we've got to earn a rate of return on the cash that we have sitting. It's very difficult to do, and this is not oftentimes done, is because people don't know where to go. And this is where we'll come in and we'll introduce them to infinite banking. Guys, if you have questions on infinite banking and you're not quite sure what we're talking about, reach out to us. We'd be happy to sit on a phone call with you and kind of go into this in detail. But really, one of the best solutions we can do with that cash is put it into a properly designed infinite banking policy. And now what you'll see is now we can earn
Mm.
an interest rate on the capital that's sitting and waiting for the next investment, but also we're going to keep it safe and liquid.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Right. So now what I want to do is I want to assign some numbers to this, is because conceptually, right, we've solved the problem here, but now let's see how big of an impact that this can create over time. All right. So Anthony, in that first example,
Mm-hmm.
right, we had 80,000 on what we earned,
Yep.
right? And then we had 200,000 that was really just dead money. Would you agree?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So we're earning zero on that. In the second example, what we've got to do is we've got to take that 200,000. We need to assign an earnings rate to it, or an interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can take that 200,000 and for round numbers, let's say that we can earn 5% interest.
Okay.
All right, Anthony, you're the accountant.
Mm-hmm.
5% on 200,000. How much would we end up with at the end of the year?
10 grand.
Perfect. Right. So now we take that 10 grand and we add it to the 80 that we had before. And now we look at our return on wealth, and now it's a 9% ROI, right?
Now, do you mind walking me through how you got to the 9%?
Yep. So in the first example I went through is we had 800,000,
Mm-hmm.
and that 800,000 is earning 10%. So we had $80,000 investments that were made over that first year, right? And then the 200,000 was earning zero. So the total return on wealth was 80,000. You take 80 divided by the million, we got the 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
The second example that I was describing is we still got that same 800,000 that's earning 10%. So we've got 80 there, but now we're going to assign an interest rate to that 200,000. And if we can earn 5 or close to it, right, for round numbers, we're going to get another 10 over the course of 12 months.
Gotcha.
So we take 10 and we take 80, and now we've got 90 that we've earned over the course of a year. We take 90 divided by 1,000,000, and that gives us a 9% return on wealth over the course of 1 year.
Okay. I'll follow you.
Perfect. So here's another lesson, right? This is a conversation I have a lot of times with clients, is because most people will hear that, right? And they will kind of scoff or they'll disregard the increase on 1%, moving the needle from 8% to 9%. But if we go and we do the math on that, Anthony, if we look at the increase from 8% to 9% over the course of 1 year, what percentage of increase is that?
That would be a 12.5%.
Perfect, right? So guys, going from 8% to 9% is not a 1% increase. It's actually a 12.5% increase on our efficiency over just 1 year. This is really, really important because, again, right, one of the things that we like about using a properly designed policy is we've got increases, but they don't happen in just 1 year. They happen every single year after that. So in our example, if we can move the needle from 8 to 9% over the course of 1 year, and we do that every year moving forward, it's a mind.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.